Howdy all, Chris from Cleaning Wins the Foul course once again. So, dropping a video today. It's been a manic previous sort of month, 3 or 4 weeks. It's just been absolutely crackers. I've had a lad on holiday, which has not made life any easier. We've also seemed to have picked up an absolute mountain of gutter clearing work, etc. The leaves are falling. It's that time of year, isn't it? So yeah, we've picked up a fair amount of work. We're a man down to some extent, and then it's mental. We have more and more work sort of coming in. And when I very first started the business, my biggest worry was would I find enough work to justify having a business? And it's just absolutely crackers at the minute. You don't truly understand how much work is out there until the inquiries are coming in, etc., and all that sort of stuff. It's just mental. But we've had to, for the first time in quite a long while, is ultimately I've had to stop picking the phone up to some extent. I've had to put a hold on replying to inquiries, because in the best will in the world there is just one of me. Yes, I have contractors, yes I have employees, etc., but I don't, there's enough work for them to sort of parcel their way through. And then yeah, I'm filling the gaps, what have you. But even this past sort of 3 weeks, I think I've mustered one afternoon off, and I've been pretty much relentless all the way through. And I always talk a good game when it comes to balancing your work life and your family life, but I've been guilty this past sort of 3 weeks of pretty much putting that on the back burner. It's a bit naughty really. So but yeah, it's just sometimes you've just got to service the customers that you have right now to the best of your ability. Sometimes you just have to leave other work until you are able to dedicate 100% of your attention towards it. I would much rather look after the customers that I have to an extremely high standard than go out chasing new customers where you're probably operating at about 50 or 60%. It's not the best way to go. But it's funny how I put a video out about the 1-star reviews, etc., and all this sort of stuff. I've recently received another one, and again, it's because we're so busy and we're rushed, etc., and it's caught up with us. This current review that we have just received as like a 2-star review is just a pure example of what can happen when you don't have 100% of your attention dedicated to that particular task at hand. The gentleman's sort of gone on to say that we arrived an hour late, which we did. He said that we've sucked a seal out of his gutter and now water is chucking down the side of his house, and that the windows were a half-assed effort or half-hearted effort, something like that. And he didn't bother to ring me to start with. He sort of he just left a review on Google, and obviously I've got an alert on my phone every time something related to the profile goes off, and then I get the notification saying that he's left a 2-star review. And I was a bit like, well, what's all that about? Because normally if you communicate well with the customer communicates back to you. So if they're not happy about something, they'll just ring you and say, Chris, I'm not really happy about this, can you come back and address it? We can have a conversation about it at the very least. Kind of got my goat a little bit. And when he said that we'd sucked a seal out of his gutter, effectively we've caused damage to his property. So I gave the gentleman a call and said, what do you mean by we've sucked a seal out of your gutter? I said, well, it's lying on the back porch, it's lying on the decking at the back, etc. It's, blah, blah. And I was like, right, okay, well, I'll tell you what, let me come round. And I put the phone down. I'm not going to lie, at this point, I'm fairly cheesed off at this point, because I'm almost like, right, well, instead of communicating with me that you're not very happy about something, you've gone nuclear, you've lost the plot and put this review on Google, etc. You know, which is fine. But here's the thing: is if someone goes out of their way to communicate with you and be a reasonable person, if there's a something to be discussed or something you're not very happy about, then you know we should be a man about it and discuss it. Don't go passive aggressive, leaving your bloody 2-star reviews without so much as sort of touching base with us, right? And here's an example of how this is quite, you know, this is the appropriate course of action. I goes down to the gentleman's house, and sure enough, we go to the back, you know, decking at the back, and there is black. There's a length of black sticky tape, right, lying on the back porch, on the floor. We had a problem with the skyvac where the hose punctured, so as a temporary stopgap, I plugged that hole with Gorilla Tape. But that's a seal from the gutter, and I was like, well, no, it's not. It's Gorilla Tape. And so I literally showed him. I says, what, you mean this stuff? And he was like, oh, right. And I says, right, also, further to your point, you also mentioned something about water cascading down the side of your house now that we've cleared your gutter, and that we're to blame for this. Can you just point this out to us? Oh, it's up top where the gutter is now too far away from the soffit, and now when it rains, it comes down the side of the house. And I was like, right, okay. Anything else you want to sort of, you know, talk about? And he mentioned something about the so there was a gutter. Now, don't ask me why someone thought this was a good idea, but there's a flat garage roof, and they've packed it out with stones. And when I say stones, I don't mean little pebbles. I mean like giant sort of, like that sort of size, you know, rocks on top of the roof. Some of these rocks, they're not cemented in or anything like that. They've just been chucked on roof. Who knows? And so what's happened is that obviously, because they're not fixed, a lot of these pebbles and stones have ended up in the gutter, which has caused a blockage, which we've removed. So we've removed the gutter, we've removed the blockage from the gutter. Now water is running free. Now the issue is that, you know, the gutter is in a state of, the house in general is in a state of disrepair. The gentleman bought the house without a survey, and basically what's happened is that when we sorted the gutter out, the gutters were packed up top, were packed full of debris, etc. We've removed all of the gubbins out of the gutter, but the previous owner of the house has obviously let this house get into a state of disrepair. There are black marks all over the windows, the gaskets have failed, the UPVC is stained, the gutter was ram jam full to the point where the stuff was growing out from underneath the gutter, so it was wrapping itself around the gutter, and it took a fair amount of effort to get that removed, which we managed to do. It's fine, but the problem is that the growth in that gutter has put pressure on the gutter and the soffit board. So what's happened is it's gone like that. It's gone outwards and outwards and outwards. Now what's happened is that you have to understand these gutters are made of plastic. Okay, so they'll only stretch so far, and then they'll break. Or they will remain in the same sort of shape. So obviously we've removed all the debris, etc. And a gap about that wide between the gutter and the soffit board has remained open, because the weight of the stuff has just pushed the gutter away from the soffit board. There's nothing we can do about that. You've asked us to clear the gutter, we've cleared it. You know, and just because another problem has arisen as a result of us clearing the gutter is not necessarily an indication that we've caused a problem. So, and then on to the last sort of, section of his complaint, if you like, was about the windows. And as I've mentioned previously, the gaskets are absolutely knackered. So there's no amount of scrubbing that's going to make them come up at all. And we told him this at the very beginning. The point I'm getting round to is that the only thing that really I'm at fault for, okay, is the fact that I did not pick up the sticky tape that I used I'd cut off the hose to replace it and I've either left that tape on the floor or it's fallen out of my pocket. But one way or the other, I should have removed it. Now that's about the limit of my blame, if you like. Okay, I've not caused damage to a property. I've not left dirty marks on the windows. Okay. And you know, and I've not sucked the seal out of a gutter. But all that's happened is I've left sticky tape on his in his back garden, like I said, as a result of it either me forgetting to pick it up or it falling out of my pocket, and I'll hold my hand up, I don't remember. And this is the point, isn't it? You take on all this work and you are rushing and you make mistakes, and that's what's happened. But if I'd have been able to sort of take my time properly, do the job, you know, with the tape, that is, make sure it was thrown in the bin and all this sort of stuff. The only thing that caused that gentleman to leave that 2-star review was ultimately the fact that he saw tape on the back of his property, and he assumed, wrongly, that was a seal from his gutter, from his roof even. And I was like, well, it's not, it's Gorilla Tape, you know, and it was on my Hoover. And that's the reason why. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, and I said to him, absolutely, I shouldn't have left it there. Absolutely, I made an error. But here's the thing: me leaving Gorilla Tape accidentally in your back garden, okay, has not caused damage to your property, as you have said on your review. So here's the thing, then, you know, people reading your review may be led to thinking that I have wrongly caused damage to your property when I haven't. When my only crime is not tidying up after myself adequately, okay? But when you are rushing around, as I have been doing this past month, mistakes get made, you know, and these mistakes can be costly if you encounter the wrong type of customer that goes nuclear when they make all kinds of assumptions, you know, wrong assumptions about your work and what you've done, etc., and all this sort of stuff. So I've taken the decision now, sort of, I had a gentleman contact me through one of the guys that works for me to do 5 gutter clearing jobs, and we've got another dozen gutter clearing jobs booked in. So I've not even replied to the guy's text message because we have so much work on and there is only so much of me to go around. So, you know, I would much rather, and then I rang the guy on I rang the company that wanted us to do gutter clearing work on Friday on the off chance that they hadn't got themselves sorted, and they said, oh, well, we're sorted now, we appreciate you ringing back anyway. And I just said, yeah, no dramas. I said, it's just you've hit us at a really bad time. I've got a guy on holiday, etc., and we are extremely busy servicing the customers who I've already got. If you need us again, bear us in mind, but you know, can't be helped. And the guy was like, yeah, no dramas, that's fine, it's fine, it's all good. But here's the thing, is that, you know, I've been both sides of the coin. I've been that guy that's sort of been let down by tradesmen, in the sense that I've rung them and they've said they'll be there and they won't. But I've also been the contractor that's had to let people down. You know, you can't please everybody, and you're a fool if you think you can. So yeah, moral of the story: don't leave sticky tape on the back of someone's back garden.